Hi everybody, it's me Damaris and welcome to Deliciously Able, where I teach people like myself who are physically disabled how to cook fresh, home-cooked meals with tips to make it easy and fun to learn. Today I will be cooking my chickpea curry with sweet potatoes. You could also cook some balsamic rice, jasmine, quinoa, couscous, or whatever other stuff you would like if you didn't have the sweet potatoes in the curry. So I won't be cooking rice with this curry. But if you want to, you can, because usually curry is accompanied by some type of rice. So my first tip is always have your ingredients out when you can reach them, and that way when you start cooking you don't have to be scrambling to get stuff open, chopped up. So always have everything ready. In this case I have already chopped up one large onion and 3 medium-sized sweet potatoes into cubes. I put them aside so that way all I have to do is put them in when time acquires for it. And what we're going to be using is 1 pound of canned chickpeas of any type that you like, 1 can of coconut milk unsweetened. We're going to be using some curry powder, some harisa because I like a little kick in my curry, and grama masala, which is warm spices that make the curry nice and cozy for your tummy. So here I go. Here are my spices and accoutrements. Here's the curry powder, the harissa, the coconut milk, and behind the curry is the garam masala. You can get these spices in the international or ethnic aisle of your grocery stores, or you can also order them online in bulk like I do and just make smaller containers of them. I also like to use dry spices with no salt in them because that way you control your salt intake. This is also a vegetarian meal, so this is vegetarian friendly. You could add chicken if you want to. It's up to you to the curry if you want to make it more heartier. But today I'm gonna make it vegetarian friendly. So come with me. See if I can get this thing right. Thank you for being with me, people. Now, I use a non-stick copper pot, but if you don't have one, that's fine. Just make sure that you add enough, like a teaspoon of oil to make sure the stuff doesn't stick. I love this copper pot because, like I said, it's a one-pot meal and you don't have to use various pots. And I also use a wooden spoon because you don't want your non-stick cookware to get damaged with metal spoons. So let's see if I can put this somewhere where we both, you can see what I'm doing. Let's see. This will work. Excuse me. This might work. Okay, just move away. Now, I know this isn't the kind of angle I wanted, but I will give you a gist of when I put in my ingredients in here. So, first of all, I am going to turn on my pot to medium heat. And I'm going to put a little bit, even though this is non-stick, just to be sure, I'm going to add a little bit of canola oil or vegetable oil non-stick spray to your pan. You can also use a teaspoon of vegetable oil or coconut oil. It also gives it a little bit of flavor. Because what we're going to want to do is give the onions some flavor. So here I am, spraying a little bit of non-stick spray. Because even though this is non-stick, like I said, just make sure that it doesn't stick. But it also gives it a little bit of flavor. And we're gonna let that heat up for a little bit. This is one chopped up onion, diced white onion. You can use whatever onion you want, but I use white onion for this recipe. I put it already in this container, so all I gotta do is dump it, so I don't have to keep going back and forth. While that's heating up, and we'll let that heat up. This is the chickpeas I'm going to use are 1 pound. I got the Goya because that's the brand that I prefer, but any brand that you feel comfortable with, you can grab. I'm going to open it and drain it. And this one has a tab top. I'm going to get that out of the way. This one, a tab top. So what I do is I just put a butter knife or a spoon underneath it, pop it open and drain it. So you can hear the pot already warming up for the onions, because what you want to do is hear that sizzle when you put the onions in the pot. So here I go. I have the onions. I'm going to put them in the pot now. You're going to hear that sizzle. That's what you want to hear. You put onions in the pot. Alright. Now, onions are in the pot. Like I said before, I use a wooden spoon so I didn't scratch the surface of my non-stick cookware. What you want is to let the onion sweat and release its juices. So what I'm going to do What I'm going to do is add a teaspoon of various spices, as I told you before that I was going to do. And I have an onion, so the spices could bloom when they hit the oils and the juices of the onion. I'm going to do a teaspoon, I'm going to do the half a teaspoon of the harisa because it's spicy. This is the curry that I use for my curry. And this is not hot. You add the heat with either cayenne, crushed pepper flakes, or harissa. So what I'm going to do, so these flavors can bloom, is take a teaspoon, a nice heaping teaspoon, and add it to the onions. Take a heaping teaspoon of Marsala, which you can get this at your international or ethnic island, or you can order it online. And grama has cumin, coriander, cinnamon, all those nice warm spices that you taste in curry. Right now I'm stirring the spices with the onions to give it a nice, it cooks it nicely. And I'm going to use harisa comes in a glass bottle, and I like to use plastic bottles because it's safer for me. So this is the harisa. Harisa is basically an African spice, but you also use it in curry cuisine. So I'm only going to use half a teaspoon because this is a little spicy. My help like to get this thing close to off. Usually I don't measure anything because I'm an eyeball person, so I'm measuring so that way it can help you gauge what flavor you like. You don't have to put in there harissa or any cayenne pepper, or if you still want that smoky flavor, you could add a teaspoon of paprika instead. So the onions are turning a nice caramelized color, which I'm going to show you in a moment. And that's what you want. This is what the onions look like with the spices. blooming. It smells so good.